Good morning, readers. We've been talking a lot about series books and how we collect a lot of information about the characters. We really get to know them. And one of the things we want to think about a lot when we're reading series books is how characters react to problems. When they have problems, what are the things they usually do? That says a lot about a person in real life and in books. So let's think about what we know about how Amber in Amber Brown is Not a Crayon, how does she react to problems? And as a contrast, how does Justin react to problems? So we said yesterday that Amber, she really wants to talk about things. When she has a problem, she really wants to work it through, maybe try to fix it. And sometimes she acts angry when she's really hurt. Justin, on the other hand, he really doesn't want to talk about things. And he acts like everything's fine. So we're going to read on today and see if we can add any more to our understanding about how these two characters respond to problems, because that's very important. And when we're done reading together, I want you to go back and reread that first chapter of Frog and Toad Are Friends, the one that's called Spring. And as you're reading, I want you to think about how each character is reacting to problems. And then you're going to write a couple of sentences about how Frog responds to problems and how Toad responds to problems. But let's first return to Amber Brown is Not a Crayon and see if in chapter 8 we can learn any more about how Amber is responding to the problem of Justin leaving and how Justin is responding to it. And are these things that we already know about them? Amber, she's sitting on her bed. It's not easy choosing a new best friend. I sit on my bed staring at the list of kids who are in my class. First of all, it's going to take a long time to decide. And then, what if the person I choose already has a best friend and doesn't want me as a best friend? The names are all written out in light blue ink. I'm using a red pen to cross out all of the people who could never be my best friend. Alicia Sanchez and Naomi Schwartz are already best friends. So are Freddie Romano and Gregory Gifford. A couple of the boys are very obnoxious. That means they're rude and awful. So I've crossed them out. I would pick a slug with rabies before I would pick them. Hannah Burton is much too neat and cares too much about looking good. I could never be best friends with someone who has a list on her door of what she wears each day. She does that so she never wears the same thing twice for at least 2 weeks. Once she had a pajama party at her house, and I saw that her closet is color-coded and arranged by how long everything is. Shirts, skirts, pants, and dresses. She's a definite no. Brandy Colwyn has a purple star by her name. She's a definite maybe. So is Mark Manchester. Frederick Allen, however, is an absolute no. He's one of those nose pickers. There's a knock on my door. Amber, honey, may I come in? I put the list under my pillow. Sure. She doesn't want her mother to know she's choosing a new best friend. That's why she hides her book. My mother comes in carrying a bowl and 2 spoons. I know that it's not nutritionally sound and we shouldn't turn to food, but I can't help myself today, said my mom. She sits down on my bed. Looking into the bowl, I say, my favorite, as I see double fudge brownie mix with all of the ingredients, but unbaked. Thanks, Mom. I give her a hug. Promise me that for the rest of the week you'll take fruit to school for dessert? She holds back the spoon. I promise. She hands the spoon over. We both eat out of the bowl for a while. And then my mother says, Amber, I want to talk with you. She continues. I'm sorry. Amber, I want to talk with you. There's no such thing as a free brownie mix, I think. She continues. What's going on between you and Justin? Why have you two stopped talking? How do I tell her about the chewing gum and how he won't talk to me about leaving? And how he acts as if going away is one of the easiest things in the world? I shake my head. If I start to talk about it, I'll start to cry. So This is interesting now because we said that Amber likes to talk about problems, but it doesn't seem as if she wants to talk about the problems with her mother. So I guess we'd have to add to that. She likes to talk about the problems with the person she's having the problem with. But if she talks to her mother, it's going to make her feel too emotional and she might cry. So that's something new we learned. My mother puts the bowls and spoons on my desk and puts her arms around me. Amber. She kisses the top of my head. I don't pull away when she does that, although I usually do when she does it in front of other people. Amber. She kisses the top of my head again. I know you're going to miss Justin. The two of you have a very special friendship. Not anymore, we don't, I say, starting to sniffle. He's a jerk, a total and absolute jerk. She continues. It's hard when people leave you. Sometimes, even though it's not your fault, you think it is. I hate him. The tears start, even though I don't want them to. No, you don't. My mother looks at me. Honey, you're very angry now, but you know that Justin is your friend. So here again we see Amber acting angry when she's really hurt, which is something that a lot of people do. He is not, I say. So tell me what's going on. She smooths my hair. It'll be easier if you can talk about it. I shake my head. So here Amber is acting a little bit more like Justin, but more with her mother than with Justin, I think. Continuing to smooth my hair, she says, sometimes when people have to leave each other, they act as if it isn't happening, or they pick a fight, so it won't seem hard to go. In this case, it looks like both. So this is some insight we now have into why Justin is acting the way he does. He acts like he doesn't care and like it's no big deal. But as Amber's mother says, he may just be doing that because if he picks a fight or acts like nothing's happening, it may just feel easier to go then. He knows that there's nothing he can do about it, so he's trying to make it easy on himself by doing things that are probably not so productive. But think of all the good times you and Justin are missing right now because you've stopped talking. I start to cry more. I hate to cry. Sometimes I'm afraid that if I start, I'll never stop. And now I've started. My mother hugs me. She hugs. I cry. We sit for a while and then I back away. Mr. Cohen says that our bodies are made up of 80% liquid. The way I've been crying, the Weather Bureau could call me a drought. Thanks for the hug, Mom, I say. I'll be okay now. Do you want to be alone, she asks. I nod. I'll be in the living room if you need me. She gives me one more hug and then walks out. I stare at her as she leaves. I'm so lucky to have a mother who doesn't act like my feelings don't count just because I'm a kid. So one way that we hear Amber reacting now to a problem is being grateful for what she does have, which is pretty healthy and pretty strong. And that's probably because she has a mother who is allowing her to express her feelings. So she's able to then look at some of the bright sides of the situation. I take out my list and look at it. Then I rip it up. Why do you think she's ripping up her list? I have a guess. What's yours? I think she's ripping up her list because she doesn't want to have another best friend. I think she wants to smooth things over between her and Justin. What do you think? Getting a best friend isn't like making a shopping list. I take Justin's school picture out of the drawer by my bed. It's a little messy since I drew a black eye on him and used the red pen to give him chicken pox. I look at the picture for a while and think, he's going to miss me. Who else is going to whisper the correct word to him in reading group? Who else is going to make faces when some goofy grown-up says, so your name is Justin, just like the song Just in Time? Who else is going to give up her cookie wafers just for him? Cheer for him, even when he strikes out. Who else is going to convince Danny that it's Big Boy to make his brother's bed for him? Remember, Danny is the little brother. I'll tell you something. He's going to miss me. I'll tell you something else. I'm going to miss him. So what do we learn about Amber here that's a little bit different in terms of how she reacts to problems? Think about it for a second. Yesterday we said she wants to talk about things and she acts mad when she's hurt. Was there anything different you learned today? So I learned two things. She likes to talk about problems with the person she's having the problem with, but she really doesn't like talking about them with her mother. Not at first, anyway. Makes her feel like she's going to get too emotional. And the other thing that I learned is that she does do some positive things. And sometimes she acts mad, but right now she's thinking about all the things she's grateful for and all the things that are good about Justin, about her situation now. She's thinking how lucky she is to have a mother who values her feelings, and that she is really going to miss Justin, and he's really going to miss her. She understands that it does mean something to both of them. So again, I want you to reread the first chapter of Frog and Toad, and after you do, or as you're reading it, I want you to think about how Frog and Toad react to problems, the problems in that chapter. And then I want you to write a couple of sentences about how each one responded to problems. Okay, see you later for writing.